Okay, Year 7, we're now moving on to like terms. And this is exercise 8D. Now, this is where we get quite complicated. So you need to watch this and answer the questions as you go. So, what are like terms? Well, there's an explanation here in your textbook. So whenever we have terms that are with exactly the same pronumerals, they're called like terms. And they can be collected and combined. I'm going to look at that in a little bit more detail. So let's say we have a pronumeral, and let's just take one. And remember, a pronumeral is a symbol that is standing for a numeral. And we could use squares or triangles or shapes or Greek letters or other letters. But because we have our alphabet, and there are 26 letters, 52 if we use capitals, it gives us a range of symbols that we can use to represent numbers that we don't know or that may vary. So let's just say we have this one, M, and M represents a number. Well, the same way, if I add another one of the same number, so let's say I had 3 plus 3, I'm not saying that M is equal to 3, I'm just using the example. Well, that's 2 lots of 3. The same way, I can say 1M plus 1M will give me 2 of whatever that number is. 2 lots of M. And remember, we don't need the multiplication sign. And that's pretty simple. Because remember that the pronumerals operate in the same way that numerals do. So, if, for example, I had 2 times 3 plus 4 lots of 3, well, smart people would go, well, I've got 2 lots of 3 and I've got 4 lots of 3, and that's 6 lots of 3. And you can watch, like, that's 3 plus 3, and that's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. There's a plus in the middle. Oh, yes, so you can see that it's 6 lots of 3. So the same way, let's pick another pronumeral. 4 n's plus 3 n's. That means I've got 4 n's. I'm going to add another 3 n's. That gives me 7 n's. Or 7 of that number, because remember, n represents a numeral, a number. Now, the same way that we do addition with numbers means we can also do subtraction with numbers. So if we had, let's use another pronumeral, 8p, and I took away 3 p's. Well, I've got 8 of them. I take away 3, that'll leave me with 5 p's. And this is called collecting like terms, finding the things that are the same. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, this is quite easy, I understand that. What about if we had some letters that weren't the same? Well, let's see if we can do one with a numeral first. Let's say I had 2 lots of 3, and I had 4 lots of 5. Can I say that that's 6 lots of something, or 6 lots of 8, or 6? Well, no, I can't, because they are different. The 3 and the 5 are different. So I can't do that. And that's the same with pronumerals. So say I had 3D plus 5C. I cannot add them together and get 8CD. That is wrong. You cannot do that. this term and this term must be the same to add or subtract. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be adding and subtracting the same terms, and we call them like terms. So in your books, the golden rule, and this is very important, make sure you write it somewhere, you can only add and subtract like terms. And you must remember, this means that the letters, the pronumerals, must be exactly the same. Now, sometimes we might have more than one. We're going to have a look at those in a minute. But please write this in your book. All right, so if you've written in that in your book, that you can only add and subtract like terms, underline the like. All right, so you've got to do 8D. Let's have a look at some of the questions. I'm going to let you do question 2 on your own. You should be able to see, but I want to look at question 2C. Now I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, oh, they're not like. 4xy and 2yx are not like terms. They're not exactly the same. Mr. Tompkins said they had to be exactly the same. Well, in fact, they are the same. We're going to leave the 4 alone, x, y, and our standard way is to write things alphabetically. Now remember, 2yx is 2 times y times x, and it does not matter which way we multiply. So I can change the direction of the x and the y. And if I do that, well, then they are like terms. They are exactly the same. So that's a bit of a trick there with C. And with D, you have to make up your own. Equivalent expressions with E. These two are equivalent expressions. Equivalent, which means exactly the same expression. Oh, well, x plus x is 2x, and I've got 2x plus 7 there. They're exactly the same. You need to think about a way to write 2f the same way. There are lots of different answers, but you should be able to see something here between the 3x and the 2x, what you can do with them. Are they like terms? Okay. Let's just have a quick look here. You should be able to do question 3. I'm just going to do the first column of question 3. You don't have to do it, but it should be good if you watch and see. Well, A and B are not the same, so they're not like terms. A and B are not the same, so they're not like terms. 5x and 5 are not the same. They are not like terms. Oh, but they've got a 5. I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the pronumerals, at the letters. Well, this one has A, B, C, and this one has A, B, C. So they are like. I will go on and do a few more. In B, we've got A and A. Remember, don't worry about the numbers. You're just looking at the pronumerals. Well, they're like. 7 with no letter and 10B. Well, they're not like terms. Here we go. AB and AB. Well, they're like. And I'll stop here on K and see if you can think about this. Is AB the same as BA? Remember, we're not looking at the numbers, we're looking at the letters. And we just did that over here. XY and YX are the same. Well, AB and BA are like terms. Righto. You do have to do question 4, and these are pretty easy. I'm going to do the last 2. Actually, I won't do the last 2. I want to do a subtraction and an addition, and I want this one. So I'm going to do this one. I'll do this one, and I'll do this one. So D and G. Okay. 12D minus 4D. Well, I've got 12 Ds, and I take away 4 Ds. That leaves me with 8 Ds. Now here, I've got 2 letters, 2 prime numerals. I've got an AB. It is still one term. 8AB is one term, and 3AB is one term. Okay. Are they like? Yes, A and B are the same term. So I've got 8 of them, and I add 3 of them. That gives me 11 AB. Well, that's pretty easy. Question 5 gets a little bit harder. And I'm going to look at a couple here. I'm going to look at B, and then I'm going to do the last column. Now, what we have here, I've got 5 A's and 2 A's. Well, I can add them. 5 A's and 2 A's is 7A. And then, then I've got these B's. Now, I can't add the B's to the A's. They're different terms. But I've got plus 1B plus 8B. Well, that gives me plus 9B's. And I can't do anything else with that because they are not like terms. A and B's are not like terms. So we'll go across, and I'll use my pen to highlight them. So the X's are the same. So I've got 3 X's, and I take away 2 X's. That leaves me with 1 X. Now, I don't need to write the 1, but I'm going to write it so you know that it's there. 3 X's minus 2 X's gives me 1 X. And then I look at the next 2 terms. I've got plus 4Y, plus 2Y and plus 4Y. And notice that I say that's the term, plus 2Y. That's going to become important in a minute. Well, plus 2Y plus another 4Y gives me plus 6Y. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Let's now have a look at this one. 3Ks minus 2, and I've got this plus 3K here. Don't minus it. I've got 3K, and I'm going to plus another 3K. The sign goes with the number directly behind it. So 3K plus 3K is 6K. Don't confuse it. And then I've got to deal with minus 2. And I just keep it there. I can't do anything with it. It leaves it out. Okay, let's look at this one. I've got X's and I've got Y's. Let's just have a look at the X's first. I've got 3X. Now, there's actually a plus in front of that, but we don't write it. I've got plus 3X. I've got plus 7X. Be careful. This is minus 4X. So just do the X's. Plus 3X, plus 7X. Well, that's 10X. And then I've got a minus 4X. 10X minus 4X is 6X. And now, let's look at the Y's. I've got plus 3Y and plus, and there's a 1 in front of that, plus 1Y. Well, plus 3Y plus 1Y is plus 4 Ys. Now, if you're good and you're getting these, you go and do the ones yourself. I'm going to finish off this column. You can go and have a go and then come back. So press pause if you want. Okay, the next one, what have I got? I got plus 10x plus another 4x. Well, that's pretty easy. 10x plus 4x is 14x. And then I've got plus 31y minus 1y. I've got 31 and I'm minus, I've got plus 30y. All right, now I've got B's and C's and they're all a bit mixed up, so let's be a bit careful here. I've got plus 3b plus another 4b. Well, that's 7b. Leave the C, it's not a like term. And I've got a plus 5b. So I've got 7b plus another 5b. Well, that gives me plus 12b. And what have I got here? I've got plus 1c. Be careful. I've got minus 1c. Well, if I've got 1 and I'm minus 1, well, then I'm left with 0. So I don't need to write anything more. The c's have gone. I had 1 and I took it away. All right, now we're going to get a bit complicated. Let's have a look here. We've got a CD. We've got a plus CD and a DC. But remember, they're the same. So we'll write them alphabetically. They should never write them DC. It should be CD. So plus 2CD plus another 5CD. That's 7CD. Now here, I've got minus 3D and plus 2C. Be careful. You can't add or subtract either of these. They're not like terms. I'm just going to write them as they are. Minus 3D plus 2C. They are not like terms. Okay, here we go. Last one. 7AB. That doesn't have any letters. Leave it alone. Be careful here. Minus 1AB. Well, I've got 7 ABs and a minus 1 AB. That'll give me 6 AB. And now let's look at the other one. Now this is hard. I've got plus 32 plus 4. And they're just two numbers, so I'll have plus 36. Now that is collecting like terms. You need to make sure that you remember the golden rule, which is you can only add and subtract like terms. They must be exactly the same. Now, you also have to do questions 6 and 8. So I did a sum of 4. 6 I'm going to let you have a go at. And 8 I want you to have a go at. I wish there was another one there that was similar. I suppose 7 is similar. No, I don't. Yes. You have a go at 8. And you have a go at 6. Actually, I'll have a go. I'll do 6. You have a go at it first. I'll do it here. And then you have a go at 8 on your own. So let's have a look at 6. Ravi and Marissa each work for N hours per week. Ravi earns $27 per hour and Marissa earns $31 per hour. Now, we don't know how many hours they work. We just know that they work the same amount, and we'll let that number be N. So Ravi, let's have Ravi here. How much money does he or she earn? Ravi earns $27 per hour, but he's worked 10 hours. Now, if he worked 1 hour, he'd get 27 times 1. If he worked 2 hours, you get 27 times 2. Or if Ravi worked 3 hours, it'd be 27 times 3. But Ravi worked n hours, so it's 27 times n. And because this is algebra, we don't need the multiplication sign. We just can say Ravi earns $27N. Now what about Marissa? Marissa gets paid $31 per hour. Well, by the same idea, Marissa would be 31N. That's how much money Marissa would earn. So that's A. Ravi earns 27N. Marissa earns 31N. Now what about C? Write a simplified expression for the total that they earn. Well, there's Ravi, 27N, and if we add Marissa, 31N, hey, they're like terms. I can add and subtract like terms. If I've got 27N plus 31N, that'll give me 58N. Hopefully you got that. And you're going to have a go at 8 on your own. Good luck.